This is the split stance diagonal jammer press. So a little bit of a setup here for this one. You need to move your J-hooks, number one, down so when the barbell is on the J-hook, it's about belly button level. So if you just stand there next to the J-hook, bottom of the J should be about belly button level to start. All right, from there you're gonna need to put a barbell across your J-hooks. And then you need to take the rings off of the straps here. So I'm gonna unclip from the bottom here. And so this is gonna work best if the top clips are right around like number 18. You have these straps here in the gym. So pretty high. Then I'm gonna make sure the straps are flat, not twisted at all. I'm gonna loop it right around the bar. I'm gonna get that clip as high as I can without having to kind of force it up there. So a little bit of slack at the bottom of the strap is fine. You just want to take up as much slack as possible. All right, from here you want to make sure those straps are even, so using kind of the edge of the knurling as your mark, that rough to smooth part of the bar. And then important, especially once you start to add weight, is unloading this from the J-hooks, especially when you get heavier in weight. You don't want to strain yourself to have to do a front raise here. So you can simply just take the barbell from one side, off the J-hook, let it rest. Then the other side from the J-hook, let it rest. So important as you adjust your weights, make sure you have your clips on as well, because as you lift that bar up, it's gonna dump the weight if you don't have your clips, okay? So from here, weight can go on. Clip both sides. And I can unwrap. Make sure my straps are even, and then I'm gonna walk out with this bar. So my feet are gonna be in front of the rack. So my feet should be away from the post. And so I'm gonna walk up until that bar is about center of my chest. So it's gonna be above my sternum, but it's gonna be below my neck. And so it should be a good pressing position. Elbows at like 45 degrees away from the body. I'm gonna get into a split stance, so 1 foot in front, 1 foot behind. From there, you're gonna press up and away towards the ceiling. It's a tight embrace through the core, and control back down. All right, so here's our diagonal press, working up and away. Important as you press away, stay tight or brace at the core and not getting the lower back involved by pushing with the hips. So keep the hips, the ribs, the belly button in tight so your lower body is still, upper body will press, and then control it back down. So this is an exercise you can go fairly heavy with in a diagonal pressing. Important, the heavier you get, the further you get away from your body, the more pressure it's going to put on the low back potentially, all right? So I don't want to overload and get my back arched here, because I can put a lot of pressure on my lower back as I get up towards the ceiling. But enough where I'm having to engage my core, sink my feet right into the ground, and be able to press away with the upper body. Kind of a good gauge is bar out in front of the forehead. Making sure as you go to press, we're going 45 degrees away from the sides, out and away, and trying not to get into this 90-degree position here. All right. As you need to add weight, again, make sure you're on the J-hooks before you add any weight. And then you're going to want to make sure that you do that jammer press evenly, so you do the same amount of reps on one leg and the same amount of reps on the other leg. So a little bit of a setup there, but it's a great diagonal pressing exercise where we can load some pretty heavy weight. And that's the split stance diagonal jammer press.